from a brother in Spain. Let's see what he said. Look, Iman, when I was 14 years old, I didn't care about religion. I had relationships with girls. I didn't pray, nor did I observe Ramadan or anything. But when I was 16 years old, I focused on Islam. I started to pray, to observe Ramadan, and I regret those sins. Why wasn't I aware of my actions? And whenever I pray, I ask Allah to forgive me for my sins. But I don't know if that is enough for me to be forgiven. Could you help me, please? Well, a human being needs to have the purpose of life very clear. The problem for many of us is that sometimes we become negligent about the future, and more than anything, the youth. And for a time it may be that due to the current of sin that is in our environment, a young person, a girl or a boy, is led into sin. So the young person inside has a calling towards perfection, towards God, towards what is most beautiful. For a time they may dwell in sin, but later they will see that sin is only pure bitterness. In sin there is no pleasure. Everything that the devil will do are temptations that say there is pleasure in that sin. In another, there is pleasure. After a while, the human being realizes that everything within sin is betrayal. It is bitterness, it is a curse, it takes away the beauty of life, which is spiritual life. So, when the human being feels fatigued, feels bitter from sins, then decides to return to God, who is pure beauty, God who is the source of life, God who is the source of mercy. So, that return to God is called repentance. Repentance means that you are already tired of sin and say, I will return to God. That is the best and most important thing. If you haven't done it yesterday, today you must start. So, when a person begins, repentance must recover everything that was lost. What does it mean? For example, if you haven't prayed for a while, then, little by little, you must recover the lost prayers. When a person has entered Islam and then has fallen into sin, during that time of sin when they haven't prayed, haven't fasted, they must recover the lost fasts, the lost prayers. But if a person has converted to Islam now, their repentance begins with Islam. Everything that is before Islam is already forgiven. Whatever it is, missing prayer, missing fasting, God will forgive it. But there is one matter that God will not forgive. Whether a person is a Muslim before sinning and then after sinning remains a Muslim, or if they are a non-Muslim and then convert to Islam. One sin that you must always recover is the debts with people. For example, if a person has stolen something from someone, or has disrespected their parents, or has oppressed a person, or anything that is a personal matter, it is an oppression against an individual. So, recovery, repentance consists of going to ask for forgiveness and recovering what was lost. Maybe that person says, I have forgiven you, there is no need to recover it. What you have stolen from me, what you have usurped, whatever it may be. So it is necessary for a person who, before Islam, for example, when they were Christian, has stolen something or was Muslim. So, the only way of repentance in these cases is to go and ask for forgiveness. For example, he was an employee of a company and stole from the company. So, the only solution is to go and ask for forgiveness, because this case is a personal matter and God will not forgive it. God will not forgive even the martyrs the debts they have with people. So be very careful with how we can divide sins. Sins that are between you and God. Sins that are between you and people. For example, you have disrespected, harmed someone, stolen from someone, usurped someone, oppressed someone. These sins that we can call social sins. You have spoken ill against someone. The only way to solve and remove the curse of sin is to go and ask for forgiveness, and recover what was lost. Even by converting to Islam, God will not forgive these sins because they are social matters. They are issues that concern the lives of other people. The Muslim should fix it. That is the answer.